Okay, so let's jump right into it. We're talking about perspective and what is your perspective. So the first thing that I want you to do before we even get started is just think about the type of life that you want to live. Like close your eyes for a second. I do it too. Close your eyes for a second and think about your dream life. Like when you think about your dream life, how is your hair? How does your skin look? What type of shoes are you wearing? What type of car are you driving? What type of house do you live in? How many bedrooms is in the house? How many bathrooms is in the house? How many children do you have? What does your husband look like? What type of job are you working? What does your bank account look like? What type of food are you eating? What type of lip gloss you wearing? Where do you shop at on a daily basis? Where do you get lunch at after work? Where do you get your hair done at? What type of hair do you like to put in your head? Like what type of conversations are you having? What type of people are you surrounding yourself by? So I just want you to pause for a second. Don't say you will do it later. Cause I know you're gonna say you're gonna do it later and then you're not gonna do it at all. And then you're gonna save this video and then it's gonna be 3 months later you got this video saved and it's I don't think it is saved. You ain't put no action to it. So go ahead, get up right now. Pause the video if you have to. Get up right now, go get you a pen and paper and write down the lifestyle that you want. And then after you do that, click play and then you'll end up right back here. So what we're gonna do today is talk about your perspective. What is your perspective? So the first thing that I would do outside of that little homework task I just gave is to see what does your perspective look like today as of right now. Like whether you scrolling in bed on the phone, going through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, flipping back and forth until you have nothing left to do but to go to sleep. Go ahead and take inventory of your perspective. Is everything that you say out of your mouth negative? Like, are you surrounded by negative people? Is your environment negative? And negative, you may not even know that you're negative, but it can very well come in small stuff like, let's say you leave a cup on the table in the kitchen. You're like, hey, what's that ugly cup doing there? Why the cup gotta be ugly? It's literally just sitting there. Or maybe a car passed you that you don't like, and you're like, that car ugly. Is it ugly or is it just that you don't like it? It's just not your taste in things. Or maybe someone has on a pair of shoes that you don't like, and you're like, hey, those shoes are ugly. Are those shoes ugly, or is it just not your style? And now you're judging people because they choose to wear something that you don't wear. So take a moment to think about all of that and see kind of where where your inventory is and what your real perspective is. Like, is everything you comment on negative, kind of like we just gave that current example. So then we'll move on and like it comes up. Look what I just did. We ain't know who look no better. But anywho, so yeah, so even like when you go to work, it's like, is it every day that you having a bad day? Because at some point, you having a bad day has nothing to do with the people that you're working with, and it has everything to do with you. Like when you wake up in the morning, do you say, hey, I'm gonna have a good day? Or do you say, hey, I got to go to this sorry job and these people get on my nerve and the manager feel this type of way and all that kind of stuff? You don't have to do that. You can decide to have a good day. When you wake up in the morning, are you having time to yourself before you even start to begin your day? Is it stuff like that, or every time you go to work, you feel like your entire co-workers have an attitude when really they don't have an attitude? It's just your mindset that needs to shift. Your perspective needs to shift. So what type of take inventory of everything and see where it kind of leads you. See, are you happy with those results? And once you do all of those things, see, does that, and be honest with yourself, see, does those results right there, like in your real life, match that dream life? Because if you lazy and negative over here, can you really achieve the life that you just wrote down on paper? Can you continue to wake up late every day and think you're gonna be a millionaire? But how you gonna get to that $1 million meeting for your business if you can't wake up every day on time? Or that if you walking in every day and you late to stuff? Like it's small things that like that will affect your dream life for you not to be able to even achieve it. Like when I told you go get that paper, did you go get it? Like this video still on. Are you trying to take notes on your phone? Like what is it? I said pen and paper, not notes on your iPhone. So what is it? It's things like that. So are you so lazy where you won't go ahead and get up and actually take the time to invest into your life? Because that's exactly what it is. is that you're doing. It's an investment. Like the moment that you got up to get your paper and notepad, I said this is the same thing. The moment you got up to get your pen and your notepad, there was investment in your life so that you can go ahead and start to write it out. Instead, like, what did you do? What did you do differently? Did you not get up? Are you still laying in the bed? Are you still scrolling on your phone? Are you still flipping back and forth through apps that's not really paying you unless you are a content creator? So what is it like? You have to make a decision to change your perspective. So the next thing is, do you say stuff like, maybe you applied to this doctorate program that you want to get in? Did you say stuff like, hey, I don't think I'm gonna get in. I don't really think I got the score for that. That may be true, but if you continue to think those things, then it's very well is where you are creating into the atmosphere. Just like the house that you in, and the bed that you in, and the mattress you on, or the couch you on, that car you drive, wherever you may be, if you sitting down at work, each thing that you sitting on or the place that you are right now, if that thought first formed in somebody's mind, whether it's their bed, somebody say, hey, I think it'd be a great idea to make a bed. I think I should paint it this color, whether it's gray brown, or hey, I think it'd be a great idea to take some wood and make a bed, or hey, maybe I should make a chair for work. And then they made a chair. I should make business chairs. And then they have a business with business chairs. Oh my God. Okay, did it start back? Okay, so yeah, so it's things like that. Or even the food that you eat, like some of your favorite foods. Like maybe it's a little roasting potatoes, maybe it's a salad, maybe it's not. But one day somebody said, hey, I think these chopped vegetables would go good in a bowl with a little lemon and some olive oil and maybe with some salt and pepper, and throw a little extra herbs on there. Or maybe somebody said, hey, maybe I should put a little cheese on these pasta shells and call it macaroni. All I'm saying is that thought formed in somebody's mind first, and then they pulled that thought out and they put it on paper and they begin to form that thing. So the same thing happens with you when you say you can't do something. That's exactly what you're forming. You're forming a life where you cannot do something. So don't think like that. Go ahead and make the decision today, not tomorrow. Not later when you think you're going to go get this saved video and come back to it. Now make the decision today to change your perspective to achieve the life that you want to achieve. So it can be that you say, hey, maybe you want to be a millionaire, but you can't do that because you keep saying that you can't do it. And then it's not only you, it's the people you're around. Or maybe your friends say that, hey, girl, you ain't never going to be no millionaire. And you're like, well, I kind of thought I was, and then you said this, so that kind of destroyed my little spirit. So no. So you have to, even with those words, you have to take those words and knock it down, because we ain't having none of that. You not having none of that if you make the decision to go ahead and change your perspective. So another thing would be, let's say you want a job that made $200,000 a year. You can have that job, but you probably so used to being in a mindset where you're only able to achieve like something like $50,000. And it's not because you can't make that $200,000 a year. It's because you told yourself you couldn't. And so now the same thing, like the example that we gave with the chairs and the bed and all that kind of stuff, and even the food, it's the same thing. You told yourself you can't make it. So now it's true. So if you ever picked up the Bible, or if you just ever breathe air, then you will know that the things that you think that you are is somewhere in the Bible. Though it's been quoting no scripture, you can go find on your own. So and even like things like that, like maybe like your insecurities, you got to grasp them insecurities right where they at. And again, we're gonna not get down. It's not gonna be like an overnight process, but with the help of God, it can very well be a speedy thing. So it ain't like you gotta wait 2 years to recover and be restored. You can actually have those things right now. So so like maybe you don't think you're pretty. Maybe you don't think maybe you think you're small or something. I don't know what your insecurities are. Maybe you feel abandoned. Maybe you feel rejected. Maybe it's somebody from your childhood that told you being light skinned wasn't pretty, or maybe they told you being dark skinned wasn't pretty, and you've taken those things and you made them truth, or you made that a fact in your life when indeed it's not the truth. You see what I'm saying? So just because it's a fact don't mean that it's the truth. You see, so make sure that you take an evaluation of yourself so that you can begin to change your perspective. Because the truth is, somebody is gonna love you. You are beautiful. You are a millionaire. It's just if you believe it or not. And if you don't believe it, then no one else can make you believe it. And so to make sure you take like control of those things, or they will fester and grow into something that will hinder your life even 10 and 20 years from now. Actually right now, today. So maybe you want to become that gym girly. Like, how long you been talking about getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or that you want to be that 5:30 gym girly? That can happen. That can happen. You have to make the decision to allow it to happen. That'll be like you going to the gym every morning and starting off going to the gym. That could be one of the first things that elevate your career. I don't want to say elevate. Look, I'm struggling. Elevate, but you know, that kind of kickstart where your mindset. You see what I'm saying? So if you get up every morning at 5:30 to go to the gym, then what else can you do at 5:30? Like, what else would you do with the rest of the day? Because now you have so much time. So like stuff like that. Or maybe you say, like I said, you maybe want to be a millionaire. I don't know. Like, maybe that may not be one of your dreams, but the people I'm talking to, that's one of your dreams. So like you getting up early in the morning to like start on a habit that benefits you. Imagine what else you would do to start to become a millionaire. And also, what else? Maybe you want to retire your parents. What do you have to do to retire your parents? Is it staying in the bed scrolling on the phone? Is it not eating the healthiest food? Like, what is it? Every decision that you make will contribute to your dream life. So you have to be careful and take inventory of the life that you want. And next, so yeah, let's take this video and let's go ahead and wrap it up. So the next thing to take into consideration is you got to solve the problem of how you can get there. Like yeah, you told me to change my perspective, but like, how do I get there? Like, I created my dream life, but what do I do next? So the next thing you do is focus on what's coming out of your mouth. Your mouth is your magical wand. That's what you create things with. At first it starts in your mind, then you start to speak those. You start to speak those things. So the things that you speak will become the things that you actually see. So watch what come out your mouth. Maybe you say ha 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 ha, and people be like, oh, they say that they're killing themselves because it's so funny. I'm not saying it. I'm not even saying it in an example. You see what I'm saying? So take consideration of things like that. Or maybe you say you broke because you don't see no money in your account. Just because ain't no money in your account don't mean you broke. But if you continue to speak that thing, this is exactly what you will have. Or maybe you say you ugly, but listen, I already told you you weren't ugly. But if you keep saying it, then you right, and I'm not gonna fight you. And like, be honest with yourself. Also, if you are lazy, say that you are lazy, so you know how to combat that thing. Also, what would be my next one would be to what don't you like about yourself? Be honest with yourself. What don't you like about yourself? Be honest and write those things down so that you can go back and be like, hey, this was a lie that developed from childhood, and that's actually not true. So it doesn't need to go into actually pass today. So yeah, make sure you take that thing and you go ahead and drive it out and cancel all it. So write down. So you're gonna take you're gonna change your mindset. You're gonna start to practice speaking. Instead of sitting there worried about if you're gonna pay a bill, if you're gonna get accepted into a program, if your business gonna succeed and all that kind of stuff, actually think about your dream life as if you already have it. So that would be my first thing. The second thing would then be to work on the way that you speak. And once you start working on the way you speak, write down your goals. You can, these are in no particular order. You do these the way you want. You then you write down your goals. And I'm not talking about the goals that somebody else told you can have. I'm talking about what you really want. Don't hold back. Don't sit there and lie to yourself like this ain't what you want. If you want it, write it down. Write it down. Write the vision down. Make it plain. So this is what you're gonna do. So write it down and actually so that you can see it. And then start to, like we said, start to speak those things. Because when you think about it, exactly, what you gonna do next? You gonna start to speak it out your mouth, and then you gonna start to, do whatever it takes to make it happen. So yeah, just like I just thought I could take this pen apart. Now it's apart. I thought it first. Now I say, hey, I think I can put this back together, and guess what? We're gonna put it back together like so, like that. And eventually I get it. But anywho, so yeah, so figure out all that, and that'll be all. That's literally all, and that'll get you started on you living your best life. You get to your dream life. I'll see y'all later.